Hello, everybody. How y'all doing? I'm sitting in the dark while in front of a fan in my room. How's everybody doing? How's everybody doing? I see Krista. Say hi to our beautiful mods, and I see MC Mapping. Welcome in. MC rapping. I was like mapping. Yours truly is tired. I was up last. I haven't slept in barely a week. Barely slept in a week. So I was going to say, hey, Jen's not going to be with us today because she's out doing some things. Slow mode is on. Yes, honey, I put slow mode on just so we can keep things under. Hello, Sharon, under wraps. And I'm a little earlier. Hello, Miss Kitty. Um, Earlier today because I'm tired and I just need some downtime. I'm tired because, hello, Kim. How are you, sweetie? Hello, Donna. How are you? Gypsy Rose, welcome in. Rhonda, I think I said hi. And Beverly. Hello, Beverly. How are you? Susan, hey, sweetie. I'm good. How are you? Yeah, the energy is. Anybody else finding the energy intense? Because yours truly is really struggling with this energy. And top of that, I don't do well when I don't sleep. And yeah, I'd like to say it's the new moon because I never sleep in a new moon. But my dad's birthday celebration, his birthday's coming up. We're gonna do it. We were gonna do a celebration of life for him, another one, and I started looking through videos. We're gonna move it now because I don't want it to be on the heels of my granddaughter's birthday because she's gonna be one on the day before my dad's birthday. I'm worried. You're drained too, Krista? Yeah, it's like, yeah, and I think the heat wave is not helping. 30 degrees in here, waking up, sticking to the sheets is just, I've never lived without. I sound like a complainer, don't I? Like a victim right now. So, anyways, I'm doing good. It's just hot and I'm tired. And I'm also tired because yours truly had well, not a vision, right? If you know me, you know, if you followed me for a while, your birthday's Sunday, Kitty, I know. Happy birthday, honey. You're so drained too, American Pie. Yeah, it's just, yeah. I think the heat is just, everybody's got some warm weather this summer. I don't think most of us in Canada and the United States are seeing some massive heat. So, yeah, the energy is wild, and in the astrology, and the weather's wild. And so, everybody stay healthy. And I'm going to do a members live this week, and we're going to be doing some meditation because I need some meditation. Hello, Gigi from Smyrna, Tennessee. Nice to see you, honey. And yeah, happy birthday, Kitty. I would sing, but you know we'll do that before your birthday, maybe if you I'll bring earplugs. Uh, if you'll bring earplugs, because like my voice is not one you want to hear. Anyways, I had a vision, not a vision. So I was up because, do y'all remember, if you follow me for a while, I said, like a month or two ago, I said, my guide said something, maybe a month ago now, about me getting one more vision and then the case would be solved. Does anybody remember me saying that? Oh, I thought they were referring to Jack and Lily, and then I got August. So I thought that was a reference to getting a vision of Jack and Lily in August. And that would be the last. You remember, Kitty? Yeah. And Krista? Yeah. Well, last night, you too, Beverly, hun? Yeah. Well, last night I had not a vision. I had, for the first time, a telepathic clairaudient message dropped in. I think it was delivered by my dad. And because, like I said, it took me years to train to see a clip, remember it, tap into the energy, decipher it without coming out of my sleep and forgetting about it. And so I've never had an auditory in my dream. I've only had movie flashes, like just flashes of a movie, you know, like 10 to 30-second flashes. But this was like clear as bell in my ear. And it was either Minnesota or Minneapolis. And I'm like, okay. And like, you got to remember, you're in the dead of the sleep. And I'm trying to like Minneapolis, Minneapolis. And then I was like trying to fall back to sleep, and then I couldn't remember, was it Minnesota, was it Minneapolis? And then the voice came in again to say, I think it was Minneapolis. So I have never had that. So I was like, didn't want to sleep because I didn't want to lose it. Anyway, so y'all, we're going to do a couple of things first. I want to just do one video update on the reading I did for Jaden. There's an update that gives a little bit more information on some of the findings. You guys have probably heard about it all, but I want to just go through my reading, touch base on that, the video. Did y'all, any of you watch my video? Because some of you were like, hey, he's been found. It was like, yeah, I know, we did a live, Jen and I did a live last night, and I know he's been found, but the reading I did yesterday was supposed to be released yesterday, and I effed up and went to go and I set it on today by mistake, and I thought, I'm just going to release it this morning because what did you think, Krista? I thought it was interesting. Like, there's some similarities there because I had buried in the woods, right? Underground, buried in the woods. And I hear she's been charged. Well, we'll watch the video, with manslaughter, not murder, because she's claiming it was an accident. And I said right at the beginning of the video that it looked like there was an accident, and the lies and the stories and the cover-up were as a result of an accident. Did you all make those connections yet? I also said they were going to be found. He was going to be found soon, and I felt like within days, but I didn't feel like within hours. So and justice was the last card. So the only interesting piece would be to find out if it was a drowning. But I also thought it was interesting that there's no murder charge. She said it was irresponsible accident, and that's what I got in the reading. There was some sort of, like, they were drunk or high and he had an accident, or whether it was made to look that way, but in the bathtub and water. We'll see if that's accurate. But the rest of it seems so far fairly accurate. I don't know about the June. We also got the month of June. I don't know if that's when he went to go and live with them after grandma passed, or if that's when they concocted the plan, but that's definitely what I got. I also got in the reading lies, and that they were fabricating the story and they had to work really hard to keep the story under wraps. And in this clip we're going to watch, she had told the other kids to lie. So I think there was a decent amount of accuracy to that reading. I wouldn't give it like a 9. But for those of you that are interested in tarot, I just wanted to put that out there. You know, I'd probably give it a 6.5, 7 for the level of accuracy. I couldn't get specific location other than buried underground, and that there was a prequel to the burying, that there was an accident and a plan, prequel to the burying. Hey, Lori, how are you? Hello, Corinne, Danielle. Lisa, you watched it. So what did you guys think? Because I'm always striving to do better. What did you all think about the accuracy of that reading? Just give me an honest feedback based on what we know so far. Of course, we're going to have to see whether he did drown first. I'm curious to see what you all say. Let me pull up. Everybody's afraid to everybody's afraid to say anything. Very accurate. He may have been near water. Yeah, thank you, sweetie. Well, you're always a fan and a supporter, so thank you for that. I don't know if I'd say very accurate, but it was close. It wasn't way off the mark. It was, it was decent. Thanks, Kitty. You're always a supporter too. Okay, so we're gonna watch one video on that, and then I'm gonna let you know why I'm not going to go search for Jack and Lily. We're gonna watch a couple videos on that, but mainly today we're gonna deep dive into residential homes for Sebastian, because after I got my clairaudient message, Thank you, Corinne Danielle. I really couldn't sleep, but then first thing I did was text Jen this morning and chat GTP, and boy, there's a lot of residential homes. And then we did a live on Jen's this morning, and she went through, and there's other areas that she's very interested in. Of course, is South Carolina being one of them we talked about today, but there is some interest in Minneapolis and Minnesota. So that's where we're going to go tonight. And I've got a list of residential homes, like quite a long list. And just check those out after we finish up with Lily and Jack and the update on Jaden. So that's the plan. I'm not going to be too long today because I'm tired, but I just wanted you to see this. Hang on. This is, I'm really starting to think that. I truly am really starting to think that. I never really considered it first time around. I don't know. It just didn't, like, not to say that it wasn't a valid thing. It just never caught my attention. You know, it never struck me like, wow, this is something to look into, you know? So let's listen to this. And yeah.
A devastating tragedy has gripped Brett Hitt County, Kentucky, where 10-year-old Jaden Spicer's week-long disappearance ended with his body being found in a plastic tote in a remote wooded area. And his mother's chilling confession to giving him sleeping medication has sparked outrage and suspicion online. I'm Joseph Morris. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and let's dive in.
Now, I never got sleepy medication. That is for sure. I did not get that.
Began on the night of August 5th, 2025, when 10-year-old Jaden Spicer was last seen at his home on Panval Branch Road near Jackson, Kentucky. Jaden, a slim kid with blonde hair and blue eyes about 5 feet 1 inch tall, went to bed around 9 p.m. in his favorite blue Sonic the Hedgehog pajamas, the kind with matching shirt and pants kids love. But by the morning of August 6th, he was gone. His mother, 33-year-old Felicia Gross, ran to a neighbor's house in tears, borrowing a phone to call 911 around 9:23 a.m., claiming Jaden vanished overnight. She told her she and her husband went to bed at 9 p.m., but when they woke up, Jaden's bed was empty. Kentucky State Police hit the ground running, but something about Felicia's story felt off from the start. Now let's rewind to understand Jaden's life before this nightmare. Jaden had been raised by his great-grandmother since birth, living a stable life until her recent passing. That's when he moved in with Felicia and her husband, 38-year-old Joshua Gross, Jaden's stepdad. Both Felicia and Joshua had prior charges of wanton endangerment, and Felicia also faced a child endangerment charge. So when Jaden went missing, social media buzzed with suspicion about the couple's troubled past. Felicia shared a handwritten note through the police full of spelling errors, pleading, quote, "We love Jaden and we want him safe at home. Please, if anybody see my son, Jaden Spicer, please report it to the Jackson Police Department. Thank you. We love him very much. Please do the right thing. Call the police. Please pray for us and my son, Jaden. Thank you." End quote. She asked for privacy, not wanting her name out there. But court documents later revealed she knew Jaden's fate and coached his siblings on what to say during police interviews, making her plea a chilling lie. The search for Jaden turned into a massive operation that gripped Brett Hitt County. Kentucky State Police, along with Quicksand and Jackson fire departments, scoured over 20 square miles of rugged terrain, dense woods, steep mountains, lakes, and streams crawling with coyotes and snakes. They pulled out all the stops: drones buzzing overhead, helicopters, canine units sniffing trails, sonar for underwater searches, thermal imaging, and all-terrain vehicles for ground crews working until 3 a.m. some nights. ECRU Search Midwest joined in, and the community stepped up big time. One resident offered a $500 reward, a GoFundMe raised over $3,000 for tips, and Father Jim Sicko, a priest, promised to cover funeral costs if needed. But as days dragged on with no sight of Jaden, hope started fading. Trooper Matt Gayhart from KSP called it a race against the clock, admitting they were running out of leads. And yet, the truth was far darker than anybody had imagined. But when police finally found Jaden, Nothing could prepare them for where he was or how he got there. So here's where it gets real dark. On August 12th, after several days of searching, a tip led investigators to a remote wooded area off Canoe Road near Joe Little Fork, about 19 miles from Jaden's home. As reported by Brennan Crane for WKYT, they found Jaden's body buried in a shallow grave inside a plastic tote. Court documents confirm Felicia confessed to giving Jaden a type of sleeping medication, believing it triggered a fatal medical emergency.
So y'all, Joseph, I guess, is saying, according to court documents, I don't know if she's going to be in jail like her hearing is going to be televised. But man, if we can watch that. So according to court documents, her excuse is she thinks that she drugged him, that something that created a fatal emergency. So again, hence the manslaughter charge, some sort of accident at night is what the reading said. Now, I didn't get, like I said, I didn't get drugs, but I picked up on maybe drowning. So I'm wondering, did she give him a fatal, like a medicine for sleepy time, and then left him alone while she was high and drunk, allegedly, and left him in the bathtub and he drowned? Is that, like, we'll see. I might be off on the bathtub, but the water seems to have been really relevant in the reading. Yes, and this is why she was charged with manslaughter and not homicide. And it's not good, y'all, because apparently it's only a 7-year sentence for manslaughter. Yeah, I know, Lori. Yeah, exactly. Well, Krista, that's just my reading. I don't know if that's true, just to be clear. I'm just saying, assuming my reading is correct, which we don't know yet. All I'm saying is my reading said it is just terrible. All I'm saying is my reading said this was an accident they covered up, or it was what happened to Jaden. He was dying because of irresponsibility, if y'all heard my reading. And so it looks like that part was right. I'm curious to see if I was right about the bathtub. But according to court documents, this was an accident, hence the manslaughter. And it's not many, many years in jail like a manslaughter would. So hopefully the autopsy comes back and can prove that this wasn't just neglect. Because, man, like, and then she had the kids lie to cover it up. Like, wow.
Instead of calling for help, she admitted to hauling his body to that wooded area and burying him in the tote. Felicia now faces charges of second-degree manslaughter, abuse of a corpse, tampering with physical evidence, and falsely reporting an incident. She's locked up at the Kentucky River Regional Jail in Hazard, awaiting arraignment. Online speculation has raised questions, with unconfirmed reports claiming Felicia led cops to the body and that a firearm was found buried near the trailer, prompting deeper investigation, or that Jaden was buried near his grandmother's cemetery plot, adding a creepy family tie. KSP hasn't confirmed these details or the exact cause of death, but the case has shifted to a full-blown homicide investigation. Felicia's charges set social media ablaze. One person wrote on Facebook, "She definitely didn't carry that herself. A body is heavy, and there's no way she didn't have help," and then coached 2 of the other kids on what to say. Another fumed, "I don't believe he was overly medicated. I believe he was beaten for grieving over his grandmother's passing. They couldn't handle it, so she's taken the heat to save both of them from being locked up. They both need to be locked up." Someone else raged, "If it was an accident, you don't do what she did, then bury him." A fourth demanded, "How is it only manslaughter? She murdered him." To which another replied, "She's apparently saying it was an accident, so current charges are based off her confession. The autopsy hopefully will determine if this charge stands or needs upgrading." So these reactions capture the raw anger and disbelief in the community, with many suspecting Joshua, given his wanton endangerment charges, might be involved as well. To me, this case is a heartbreaking failure of the child welfare system that left a vulnerable kid like Jaden in a home with a mother and stepdad, both tied to wanton endangerment charges. Felicia's confession to giving her 10-year-old son sleeping medication, then burying him in a plastic tote instead of seeking help, is absolutely unthinkable. Coaching Jaden's siblings to lie and issuing a public plea for his whereabouts while knowing he was dead, Well, that's deception on an entirely new level. The red flags in this case were absolutely glaring. I mean, Felicia's charges, Joshua's own legal troubles, the sketchy story, and the remote burial site 19 miles away. The rumor that Felicia had help moving the body makes sense given the logistics, and investigators need to probe whether Joshua or anybody else was involved. If Felicia's confession holds, justice must be swift and severe. But this tragedy also exposes a broader failure in child welfare oversight that let Jaden slip through the cracks. He deserved a safe home, not a shallow grave. My heart absolutely aches for him, a kid who loved his Sonic pajamas and never got the chance to grow up.
Yeah, very, very tragic. Well, we don't know. We don't know. So I'm curious to see, is that the excuse? Was that the excuse? I'm really anxious to see what the autopsy reveals. That I think will take a few weeks. But yeah, so hopefully it's upgraded from manslaughter to murder, because it doesn't feel super accidental. I mean, how does a mother who went to jail already for neglect do something so neglectful to cause the death of that son, like a month into him living with her, 2 months into living with her? You can't hear me? Can anybody else hear me? Can you not hear me? You can hear me? Okay, so American Pie, honey, I'm not sure. I don't know if that's what you're referencing. I'm not sure. Okay, so I don't know American Pie. Okay, y'all. So listen, you want to see what's going on in Canada? The insanity right now? Like, y'all. So I wake up yesterday morning and I think, okay, I'm going to text my girlfriend and I'm going to go and visit, like we discussed, and I'm going to go search for Jack and Lily. And then I find out, no, I'm not going to go look for Jack and Lily, because on August 6th, the Nova Scotia Premier, the provincial government of Nova Scotia, has banned, get this, y'all. I understand fire safety, and I'm not trying to be, you know, I'm not trying to be anti-environment by any means. And the fires are scary, but this is, even if you own 20 acres and you live in Nova Scotia, so like my girlfriend, I can't walk outside in her backyard with her because walking in the forest may start a fire. That's how obscene this has gotten in Nova Scotia. The constitutional lawyers are fighting, and it's been a fight in the last week. Listen up.
Premier McNeil was saying, stay the blazes home. I guess this is stay the blazes out of the woods.
A week has passed since the Nova Scotia-wide ban on entering the woods came into effect, and some citizens are already testing its limits. A Cape Breton man's videos went viral over the weekend after he went to the Department of Natural Resources office in Cox Heath and announced he was going into the woods in protest.
So I want to challenge this order in court, and the only way for me to do that is to get the fine. So I'm not trying to make trouble for you guys, okay? I just want a piece of Tim Houston.
Jeffrey Evely, who is a right-wing political candidate for the People's Party of Canada, got thousands of comments on his videos, some calling his actions a cry for attention, while others were outraged on his behalf.
If I defy their orders to go into the woods, then I will be fined, and they also said that they would double my fine to $50,000. So I'm going to walk down here and go into these woods.
He knows full well that this is a violation and in fact wants to be involved in a violation as a way of making a point. So he certainly removed some of his defenses.
This comes after nonpartisan groups like the Ecology Action Centre and Dow Legal Aid released statements criticizing the ban last week. Evely tells Global News he too wanted to make his opinion known publicly.
When we try to take these cases to court, especially around our charter rights and our human rights, there's a lot of bad precedent being set. And so I wanted to raise a lot of public awareness about this.
He was handed the fine immediately upon exiting the wooded area, plus taxes.
$28,870.50.
Nova Scotia's Department of Natural Resources confirmed a man from the eastern region was fined, but would not confirm his identity, stating since the wildfire prevention measures were put in place, the Department of Natural Resources has issued 6 fines to folks violating those measures.
My personal feeling is that the government would be able to uphold the law So it's both a risk to him on a financial level and a risk to the general public for that kind of conduct to be widespread.
So the reason I wanted to talk about this, I'll show you even more about this because it is getting very scary in this country. Now the other provinces of Newfoundland and PEI are following suit, and guess what? They're raising the fines to $150,000 and 6 months in jail for stepping foot in the woods, as if exactly. Okay, and you all have, and I am not saying anything anti-Trump here. Okay, I cannot stand Carney. They're, in my opinion, we are looking at potentially some attempts at martial law. Just my opinion. Now, guess what's come out a few days ago in British Columbia, the opposite end of the country. They have passed legislation that you cannot videotape town hall meetings, but they've extended beyond that. So you don't have a right to see what your town hall are talking about, the politicians, which is public information. But they're expanding it. You cannot tape people playing in the park. So, because they don't want the pedophiles coming around taking pictures of kids. Well, what if I want to take a picture of my kid? What if there's a pedophile in the park watching the kids I want to take a picture of? It's absolutely going back crazy again, is all I have to say. I'm going to show you another couple of videos just because I want to make a point here. If this continues, it's getting scary. It's getting scary. Oh yeah, Krista, it's getting scary. So this is just a really quick clip because Brian Lilly wants to explain to everybody that why this guy deliberately went in there to get a fine. Okay, so listen to this.
This is one expensive walk in the woods. Hello, I'm Brian Lilly, political columnist for the Toronto Sun. You may have heard the story of Jeff Evely. He was interviewed by my colleague, Joe Warmington. Evely is the Air Force veteran who lives in Cape Breton, who decided to defy the Nova Scotia government's orders that you can't go walking in the woods. Now, you could make it sound like Evely just wanted to go walk in the woods, but that's not the whole story. What he really wanted to do was get fined. Why? Because then he could challenge the government overreach in court. Back in 2023, when they did a similar measure saying you can't go walking in the woods, you can't go to certain parts of the province because of forest fires, Evely tried to challenge it in court. And the court said, well, there's no money involved, there's no charge, no fine, nothing. You don't have standing. So this time he decided he would make sure that he was fined. $25,000 fine for going into the woods. Once you add on fees and other taxes that we didn't quite explain, it's over $28,000. But this gives him a chance to try and challenge it before the courts. As I was writing elsewhere, is this going to get a ton of Canadians upset? Well, it's upsetting some people online. But here's my guess, having watched this country go through the COVID-19 pandemic lockdowns. Most people are going to be accepting of this. They will welcome it. And they won't understand why someone like Evely says, you're infringing on my charter rights. Canadians are very comfortable with infringing on other people's charter rights if it doesn't affect them. And so a lot of people aren't going to care. The Justice Centre for Constitutional Freedoms is talking about launching an appeal on this and perhaps helping Evely. So is the Canadian Constitution Foundation. These are both organizations that try and stand up for charter rights. They may come at it from a more libertarian or conservative perspective than other groups, but that's what they are there for. My view is, yeah, this is overreach. Yes, I believe that this is a charter violation, especially when you consider that the ban goes until October 15th and the fine is $25,000. That is punitive. But most Nova Scotians, the people affected by this, I think they're going to willingly and gladly accept this and reject what Jeff Evely's doing and not care if the court turns him down, which I have a feeling there's a good chance they.
I don't know what's going to happen legally, but the constitutional lawyers are all over it because it doesn't make sense. And you're going to see why in a second it doesn't make sense. Because they have certain areas that are safe and certain areas that are not. And you've got a lot of people saying, well, that was kind of like what they did during the jab. And again, I'm not I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I just, with whatever looks suspicious. If it looks like a chicken and clucks like a chicken, then it's probably a chicken, right? Well, watch this video. Watch this video and you'll see why I don't think this has anything to do with the environment. And don't forget, the British Columbian premier is now, people are going after him because he was warned that he wasn't properly cleaning up the dead trees that would lead to forest fires, and the entire town in the BC Rockies of Jasper burnt to the ground last summer. So yeah, humans walking in the woods can start a fire, but government maintenance to prevent fires, they can obfuscate that, but they'll blame it on humans walking in the bush. Like, you can't make this shit up. You can't make this shit up.
Possible. That sounds too far-fetched, too paranoid, but it has happened in Nova Scotia, of all places, a place
yes, I agree,
by a conservative government.
I agree.
I'm quite surprised, but I'm also completely unsurprised. It's fire season. Indeed, it is across the country. Here in Toronto, there's so much smoky haze in the skies. You might remember about a month ago, we spoke to a U.S. congressman.
But then, Krista, if that's the logic, why would you fine? If I go in my backyard and invite my mother to walk with me, my mother gets a $25,000 fine on my own property. You see? So I understand that logic too, but the holes within the law show the logic is just not completely there.
Complaining about Canadian forest management practices as encouraging these kind of fires. Of course, arson is also to blame, but only Nova Scotia has announced a ban on any human beings going into the forest, even on your own land. And if you do so, it's a $25,000 penalty. Remember yesterday we talked a little bit about this, and we showed you a video of one man showing the absurdity of what is considered a forest and what is not. Here's a little flashback of that really cheeky video that we showed you yesterday. Take a look.
Hey everybody, Jeff Evely here. I'm in Petersfield Provincial Park in the most tyrannical province of Canada, which is Nova Scotia, with my fuzzy friend Axel, where we walk pretty much every single morning. And here you can see that this area is taped off because that trail is the woods. But this area is not taped off because that's not the woods. This area is taped off because that's the woods, and there is a sign here that says trail closed due to extreme fire hazards. So that is the woods. This area is not the woods. This area is the woods. This area is not the woods. This area is the woods. This area is not the woods. This area is the woods.
Well, I thought that was really well done. There's a great sense of humor there. And of course, there's no way to fight a political battle better than with mockery.
No, Kitty, no. There's no reason. Listen, there's even a story. I'm not going to show you anymore, but there's even a story of a firefighter getting accused of breaking the rules. Like, it's just gone to insanity. It's absolutely gone to insanity, and they haven't responded back to me, nor would I go under these circumstances. And I understand there's a fire in Halifax. So listen, again, I care about the environment as much as anybody else. This is not about me being anti-environmental. Like, my daughter and I have talked about this a lot. I mean, she's gotten really depressed. She's saying, like, I worry for my kids' future, like, with the environment. But they've kept campgrounds open. It's absolutely ridiculous. They're and don't forget, this is tourist season. This is tourist season. So tourists are arriving, and now they can't go on any of the trails. And these Cape Breton, there was a news clip about a couple coming back. I went through like a dozen clips and just picked a few for you all. But it's like, it's wild. It's absolutely wild. And there's a video of a woman, it's like 2 minutes long if you want to watch it, because she's showing her dead trees in the back, which I think she's showing it deliberately because, again, don't forget, we lost the entire town of Jasper in the Rockies last summer because the government didn't do what the environmentalists warned them that it would happen. that because of the dry land and the weather, there needed to be all of the trees that were lying dead and dry wood were a hazard and a risk from hurricanes and tornadoes and all the dead trees falling, and they needed to clean up the forest. They ignored the warnings of the ministry. But so the government of Nova Scotia, look at all the downed trees in Jack and Lily's backyard. You'll look, I'll show you with this one clip, all the downed trees in this woman's backyard. And they're not telling everybody to clean up the bad trees. They haven't done anything to clean up the dead trees. They're just saying don't walk in the forest. Like, and it's tourist season. And that's what the East Coast relies on for tourism. And again, they've implemented this until October 15th. What if we get a month of rain? Like it's like effing around with tourism. Like it's a effing around with the economy. I'll show you this last video, and then I don't want to talk about it too much anymore because it just infuriates me to no end because it's just absolutely this. Again, if it made sense, that's fine. But it just doesn't make sense to me. It just, hang on. It just doesn't make sense to me. And then we're going to go into, so I'm not going to go look for Jack or Lily now, which I'm really bummed about.
Hello, everyone. Here I am walking around.
I don't know. But this,
Not
I don't
in
know.
the woods.
Good question. That's a great question. Here's the other thing that I thought about this morning. There's wildfires growing right now in Halifax, which is not that far from where they live. From a forest fires perspective, what if they have evidence in the forest? Is that going to get burned away? I don't really know. They got to be on the same page, seriously. So if there's a fire in Jack and Lily's case, breakout be their home, then what? If they show, oh, it's ridiculous. Listen, there's a whole news article. I didn't play it. The reason the Constitution is fighting it is for the people in low incomes that bike to work and have to bike through tree trails and they don't have cars, they can't get to work. They can't get to work. So that's what I'm saying. Not a really well thought out plan. Like if I don't have a car and I take my bike, because Nova Scotia has got lots of trees. If I can't get to work because I can't bike through the bike trail, how am I going to get to work? Hey, Jen. So it's absolutely wild. Oh, I know, Lola. I know. So it's a little bit different of a conversation, but I'm telling you all, I've been sensing this for a while, and I've said this on this channel for a while, that I want to start growing my own food. I want to start living off the grid more, because with the current government in Canada, I am afraid. And not, like, again, don't forget, for those of you just coming in, at the same time, the BC government at the other end of the country is now putting law in place that you cannot videotape in public. You cannot videotape in public. How many crimes have we seen solved because of public videotape? Like, it's just wild. So we'll watch this. It's just a 4-minute clip. And then we're going to go into Sebastian. But this is why I'm not going to Nova Scotia.
Hello, everyone. Here I am walking around, not in the woods.
Hey, Realtor
Not
Lulu.
in
Hey,
the
Rod.
woods. See,
Yeah, I know.
this is not the woods. Beautiful, huh? Isn't it beautiful?
Yep.
Eh? But it's not the woods. You know why? Let me show you why. Because it's in my woods. in my woods. Therefore, it's not considered the woods, right? However, if I want to invite a friend over to come walk in my woods, then my woods becomes the woods. Me walking freely in my woods, not a problem. But according to Tim Houston, if I want to invite a friend over for the day, have lunch, go for a little walk, show them my property, then it could cost me $25,000, or it could cost them $25,000 fine. I'm sure they're going to put something on me because I allowed them to come walking in my woods, not the woods. This beautiful woods that I have 10 acres of, and only a small section, which is in front of my house and where all my gardens are, and down my driveway is what is cleared, as you can see, right?
No,
So
it doesn't.
on each side of my driveway is the woods. No, not the woods, my woods. Let's not get confused. But all them woods down there past my gardens, all those woods is my woods, not the woods. So sadly, if I want to have a friend or more come here, they risk a $25,000 fine for walking with me in my woods. Then my woods becomes the woods. Tell me if that makes any sense. It doesn't. But this makes sense. And that makes sense. Right? So, Jeff Eatley, my brother, it's your favorite baby boomer here. And I'm with you 100%, buddy. You can come and walk in my woods anytime you want, brother. Later.
Y'all, I didn't want to get into politics today. Whoops. I didn't want to get into politics. Here I am in the dark now. I did not want to get, I know, good for her. I did not want to get into politics, but man, it's just like, yeah. So that's what's going on in Nova Scotia. That's what's going on in Nova Scotia. Now, don't forget, for my Canadian friends here, simultaneously in New Brunswick, rather, in BC, the government now putting fines in place and going to make it illegal to tape in a public place, starting with town hall meetings under the premise, and that's how the government of Canada has gotten away with their little sneaky stuff before. So they roll in one little aspect of the law that makes sense, and then they cushion it with a bunch of other things that are ludicrous. So they pile it in disguise, like under one law, something makes sense, and the rest of it's just auxiliary baloney bullshit. So that's what's going on in BC. That they started it under the premise they don't want town hall meetings, which is public forum, public information taped. And now they're pushing it to, you cannot photocopy or videotape or take pictures or videotape in a public place. So yes, Corinne. Yeah, I know. It's wild. It's going to be wild. So we'll see what goes on, but welcome to Canada. And this the other thing about me being in Quebec now, because Quebec won't tolerate that shit. And like Saskatchewan's talking about separating now because of our economy with Carney. Because look, Carney's taking oil away. Like, he's going to make it mandatory. We have electric cars, whether you can afford one or not. Like, it's anyway, I don't want to get into the whole political thing, but let's just say if two provinces were going to separate from Canada and do it successfully, it'd be Quebec and Saskatchewan right now, or Alberta. Sorry, not Saskatchewan, Alberta. And I'm in Quebec now for that. Quebec runs so independently and way more efficiently from what I've seen in my limited time from the time my daughter moved here 3 years ago and since I've been here than the Ontario government, let me just say. Way more efficiently, and have been really, for the whole language reasons, and now maybe for other reasons, we'll see what happens. But I'm just saying, watch out, everybody, because I really think it's about to get crazy. It's about, that's just my opinion. Jen, I don't know if she's here still. She knows what the astrology is looking like in the next few years, but I'm a little worried with Carney and Canada. But okay. So now let's get into, I'm going to pull up the residential schools for Sebastian. I'm going to pull up my chat. Oh, Rhonda, I know. Listen, Canada used to be an incredible country until we got the current Liberal government in place, man. It's just like, it's just wild. Okay, so I just show you, this is what I looked at. And we're just going to look at, how about if I read it to you first based on I keep wanting to say vision, this psychic hearing, I guess is what you would call it, download that I got in my sleep. So I know Jen wants to look at South Carolina and other states, but today I'm just going to spend today only. No, it's okay, honey. It's okay. I just wasn't sure if you were still here. I know you're busy. So thank you for coming in, honey. I just curious about other states. Well, other states will work with and with the charts, and we're not doing the charts tonight. Hey, Dana. I am back regularly again. Have you not seen me? Go back and miss some. I know I came back after my crazy third time saying I'm leaving, but I'm still a little rough, not gonna lie. I was tired yesterday and today and missed my dad, but I'm generally a lot better. Generally better. Have my moments, but generally better. Okay, so let's look. So I just typed in to chat this morning. I was given Minneapolis in my sleep. Can you please look up residential schools for behavioral issues or for autistic kids in Minneapolis? I was half asleep still. So here's what chat found for residential schools or therapeutic placements in or near Minneapolis for autistic children or those with behavioral challenges. It says, unfortunately, do not locate any residential schools in Minneapolis that are specifically tailored for autism or behavioral issues such as therapeutic boarding schools or long-term residential education facilities. Most existing models for residential care in Minnesota, like therapeutic boarding schools, are typically rural and outside the metro areas. The only state-run residential school in Minnesota are the state academies for the deaf and the blind. So then it goes on to list, and it gives me this summary. And then I said, yes, but there's a residential component to it, whether a private home or not. And I get, you won't find any residential schools specifically dedicated to autism or behavioral needs within the Minneapolis metro area. Although there are strong educational therapeutic day programs, no long-term residential schools exist locally. However, there are residential treatment options at psychiatric facilities suited for youth with behavioral or neurodevelopmental challenges. Jen, wasn't your mom talking about neurodivergence? Yeah, I know. So I don't think it's correct either. But interesting behavioral models. So I keep going down and I get Prairie Care Residential Treatment Program offers a residential program option for youth 10 to 18. You've got post-secondary residential program for older youth or adults. Minnesota Independence College and Community, located in Richfield, Minnesota, which is a 3-year post-secondary residential program, ages typically past high school, on life skills and vocational training for neurodivergent young adults. So that one might be interesting. Leanne, did you have or thought of you recorded the sound and watch yourself listen to afterwards? Have I thought or recorded the sound and watched myself? What do you mean? Like my sound on my end, what my sound sounds like? No, I know, but neurodivergent is similar, wouldn't it? Wouldn't it be? Or is that brain? I thought that would fall under that scope, not necessarily specific for chromosome deletion. But Krista, what do you mean, honey? So we've got primary care treatment, Twin Cities, age, a summary table, additional context from parents. I'm not going to go into that. Residents recommended based on your criteria. Consider prairie care for shorter term clinical structured residential support. Consider MICC if you're exploring a longer term independent focused program for older adolescents or adults. Supplemental options from Fraser, St. David's Center, County Care Coordinator, or PACER. So anyways, and then I said, okay, branch out just to Minnesota, because don't forget, that was just Minneapolis that I was looking at. So now we're branching out to Minnesota. I've got Hope Harbor. We're going to look at state-run residential academies, Minnesota State Academies, but it's not for autism. Psychiatric residential treatments in Minnesota, supportive residential services, Fraser, alternatives for people with for autism Inc., summer camps, temporary residence. Anyways, I kept asking, and I got the list here. So I'm going to start to go through the final list here. There's this one in Duluth. So let's just go through. Let's go through. Your reading could be up if she overdosed him and checked. Oh, hang on. Sorry, honey. You mean my reading could rate higher if I had come up with the drug thing? Yes, for sure. For sure. Oh, no. I was supposed to go to the sleep center because my doctor thinks I have sleep apnea, which is not helping my sleep and my exhaustion and my hypertension. But because I moved to Quebec, I can't. It was a year wait list. I just had the appointment before I moved, and it would have taken me a year just to see a doctor to approve me to the study, which would have taken another year. So I'm like, I'm not going to not move because of 2 years wait list. So yeah, so no, I haven't, honey. Okay, I'm going to pull up some of these. Oh, but the cases, yeah. I don't think so, because I don't dream about the cases. I just get visions. I just can't sleep when I'm thinking about them. So I'm not dreaming about them, but can't think about them, or when I'm thinking about them. Okay, let me pull this up. Let's look at this one. It's got a residential overview. Let's look at the site in Duluth. And then what I thought we would do is we could narrow it down and then if Jen wants to, if any of these that she wants to add when she's got time, we could add to the charts and see. That's kind of what I was thinking we would do. But man, it's just the more I learn about these schools, the more I realize how many of them there actually are. Like wild. It's just wild. So okay. So this one is Norwood Residential On-Ground School on Lake Superior. Now, I keep getting Sebastian. I'm going to go through the video. I doubt they would have a picture of Sebastian, but you never know. I'm Let's see if anybody picks up any energy. I saw him in shorts and I feel close to water, but I don't know. Let's just watch this video and just see what they have to say here.
At Northwood Children's Services, we utilize the life skills approach, which basically means we see every interaction as a teachable moment. The most important thing about this approach is using your relationship with your child and utilizing the 80-20 rule. That means 80% of your teaching interactions should contain praise, with about 20% what they should fix or work on. Before any activity or transition, it's a good idea to pre-teach or tell the child what the plan is, what you're going to be doing, what you expect from them, and what you hope for them to learn from the experience. Then you have them do the activity. After they participate in the activity, you go over how they thought it went and how you thought it went.
So you've got all kinds of activity, all kinds of videos now on resilient child, mindful parent, resilient child, resilient child. I don't know. Why does a child need to be resilient? I don't know. Residential treatment, diagnostic and assessment center, psychiatric treatment, crisis stabilization center. Just want to see. We're just going to go through them and to pick up the energy and see which ones may be plausible. In collaboration with the St. Louis County, the mission of the Crisis Stabilization Program is to provide short-term placement and crisis stabilization for youth that are experiencing a mental health crisis whose needs cannot be met in their home or a less restrictive setting and are referred by St. Louis County Supervision. The program will provide support, supervision, and assistance with transitions back to home, community, or other settings. The shelter will be located at our Diagnostic and Assessment Center in Duluth, Minnesota. At the Diagnostic and Assessment Center, they can be picked. There can be up to 8 children, youth between ages 5 to 17 in the center. 2 of the 8 beds are designated for emergency crisis stabilization for up to 30 days. Appropriate referrals for crisis stabilization beds include the following. Seriously emotionally disturbed children who are experiencing a mental health crisis and are unable to function in the home, community, and/or school settings, and less intensive levels of service have not been effective in resolving their problems. IQ of at least 70 or an undetermined IQ. Ambulatory, do not have primary current diagnosis of chemical dependency. Any cultural, ethnic, or religious background. Legal status must be CHIP petitions, delinquency order, or voluntarily placement. Children who have a medically fragile or intensive need will be assessed prior to intake to determine the program's availability to provide the needed services within the program and within the community prior to admission. Services, assessment of the child's immediate needs and factors that lead to the mental health crises, individual treatment to address immediate needs to restore the child to pre-crisis level of functioning, 24-hour on-staff and assistance, supportive counseling, skills trained at identifying in the child's individual crisis stabilization plan, referrals to other services providers in the community as needed, and to support the child's transition from residential crisis stabilization services, developmental of a crisis response plan, and assistance and access to store medication. Well, could be. Okay, hon. Have a good day too, Jen. Yeah, suppose I'm supposed to go too. I don't think my insurance pays for it. It did a home sleep apnea, and they do want me to go to the center. Oh, no way. Yeah, it's Sebastian being at school. It could be, but I don't know. It just, the amount of these homes that exist is wild. And if they allegedly, right, if their excuse was allegedly Sebastian was victim of an an assault, an SA, and consequently is acting out now, could that be a behavioral home that they place him in instead of, if they were looking at that, right? That's why I wanted to look at this crises intervention sort of help. Norwood, and they have 2 campuses. One on, it's going to pull up the map, 17. They have 2 campuses in Duluth. I know this is one. This is one. This building here. And then they have another one in Duluth, 400 West 9th Street. So y'all tell me how you think we should narrow this down. Do you think it's more likely that he's in a private residential? Sorry, I'm just got to go back to 4,000. I typed in the wrong. I forgot the 4. 4,000. So that's this one here. Whoops. Damn, come on. Right here. So this one's more remote. Do you think it would be, I forgot to show the map for the Pete's sakes. Do you think it would be more likely that he is in a building like this? This is one of them on the maps. They have 2 buildings, and the other one is, I don't even know how far Duluth is from, why is it like giving me a hard time? I'm trying to get the map to go. Oh, give me a break. Anyways, I don't know. Do you all think it's more likely that he's, how many, let's start here. How many people think he's in a residential school? Put a 1 or yes or no in the chat. Residential school, yes or no. And then I want to go through the list a little bit more. They have, this is the same home. You think yes? Krista says no. Some of you don't know. It's so hard to know. Your gut says different. Yeah, so look at, this is the government that partners of human services. Psychiatric residential treatment facilities provide active treatment to children and youth under the age of 21 with complex mental health conditions. This is inpatient level of care provided in a residential facility rather than a hospital. PRTFs deliver services under the direction of a physician 7 days a week to residents and their families, which may include individual, family, or group therapy. A residence plan of care may also include arranged services or specialty services such as occupational, physical, and speech therapies. PRTF discharge plan begins at a home at the time of admission, requires coordination with the individuals, their families, community-based service providers. Comprehensive discharge planning is essential for individuals to successfully transition to homeschool and community as soon as possible. Considered foster care placements. This is what I thought I read on this one. This is why I still wanted to talk about this one. Psychiatric residential treatment facilities are not considered, foster care placements. Children or youth are admitted to PTR only after medical necessity is determined. Okay. So this probably wouldn't be for Sebastian then. Yeah. I don't know, y'all. I think one of those scared straight school parents sent their kids to. They all owned by 2 or 3 people. When they get shut down, they move it to another place or name. It could be like, listen, I just don't have faith in our institutions, American or Canadian, to protect our kids anymore. I just don't. I've seen there's too many loopholes. There's too many people that slip through the cracks. There's just too many things that happen to our kids these days that nothing would surprise me. Do I know for sure he's in a residential school? No. And like I said, I never even considered it at the beginning. I really didn't. But now it's definitely got me curious. I think it's worth looking at, just because until we find him, we don't really know where he is. Right? We just have no clue. So this is another one. Adolescent residential treatment program near Minneapolis, Minnesota, hoping and healing in a residential setting. Residential program was established in early 2017 to help serve the needs and amplify the strength of youth and families in Minnesota. Informed by psychodynamic therapy, guided by therapeutic skills, this facility focuses on helping children, adolescents, and their families build lives that are sustainable, enriching, and meaningful. We are committed to providing high-quality, evidence-based care to those who need it. This is called Maple Grove. What we provide: psychiatrists, therapists, occupational therapists, social workers, nurses, residential counselors, other support is requested, individual therapy, family therapy, and education, psychiatry, activity, recreational activities, daily living skills group, therapeutic groups, academic, provided by licensed teachers. Look at this. You got the whole schedule. The whole schedule. Wake up at 7, breakfast at 7:30, 8 mindfulness, 8:30 academics, 11 therapeutic group, 12 lunch, 12:30 academics, 4 o'clock mindfulness and a recreation group, 5 p.m. dinner, skills group 6. Jesus, like you get no free time. Look at this. You get 8 o'clock. You get an hour to yourself. Like, wow. Like that's I think, personally thinking, that's way too much for kids. Like I couldn't do it. I'd go insane if I couldn't have more private time than that. Like, wow. To diagnosis assessment from the last 6 months, last month of therapy notes, psychiatry notes, letter from a mental health care professional recommending residential placement. I don't know, y'all. There's a picture of the entrance. There's just the bedroom. Geez, it looks like a dorm room, right? Like it looks like a kid's college room. She may have gotten insurance. Let me see what y'all are saying. Chili bean. Yeah, chili bean. Yes, could be that for sure, Terry. I don't disagree. So we're going down the list. It's got all of the above, I think, in the list. I'm pretty sure. Um, I know. Well, this is what I was saying, Sharon. That's exactly what I was saying. But I'm wondering if they sent him regardless of whether Seth agreed or not, and then they had to cover it up. I don't know. But I I get what you're saying. Like, I get it. I don't remember that. What was that in relation to? Yeah, we're gonna look. Let's look here. I'll go on the map here on this one. How's that? Let's look if this is near a church. Let me pull up the address. Just looking for the address. They've got several locations. Wow. Did you see that? Did you see all the locations? Brooklyn Park. I mean, 9400 Zane Avenue, 5500 94th Avenue, 4510 West 77th Street, 120 East Main. This is Maple Grove, 12915 63rd Avenue, Maple Grove. Here's Maplewood, 201 Maplewood Beam Avenue, Minneapolis, 3033 Excelsior Boulevard. Rochester, Woodbury, Minnesota. Okay, let's start with this one. No, I know. It's wild. That's what I'm saying. Like, the fact that these homes like even exist, like that woman talking to me sounds very old school. I don't know, man. I don't know if I would send my kids to, like, I don't know. Okay. So we're looking for something close to a church. Can y'all see this one? No. Sorry, I gotta go. Hey, Lloyd Lamb, no worries, honey. I gotta go back and forth, back and forth. Hmm. I don't see this one near a church. Oh, there's a church here. Lutheran of Peace. I mean, I bet you most of them are going to be close to a church. Anyways, where was the other address again? Here. And we got a church. I don't know where it went. I think there would be. Here's a, oh, that's a hotel. There's a park. I feel like he would be, let me just check and see what you guys are saying in the chat. I feel like he would be more likely more rural. Yeah, I know. I know. And by this time, Seth thinks maybe nobody wants him and why he is there. Some manipulation done by now. If this is assuming this is where he could be, but let's not forget that this was already in discussions before he disappeared, by their own admission. So this is why this line of thinking, like I said, it never interested me before, but now I'm curious. Now I'm curious. Okay, here's another one I'm going to pull up. It's very tedious, so bear with me because I got to go from one screen, remove it, then pull it up on the map. But we got Nexus here. Nexus Miles lack family healing, residential treatment programs, one kid at a time. Thousands of lives have been changed through Nexus family healing. Here are just a few. Oh, I'm praying we find them, honey. I'm praying we find them. That's why I'm going through all this. Because, and look at, so these are just organizations. Look, here are all their locations: Illinois, Maryland, Minnesota, North Dakota, and Oregon. Like these are, a lot of these are across various states. Like it's a much bigger industry than I would have ever guessed. Let's look at Minnesota. So we've got psychiatric residential treatment facilities for males and females ages 10 to 19. See, pulling up the address. Whoops. This is here, this one here. So here it is at a ground level. It's pretty remote. Like, wow. Pretty remote. Let's go back out and see. Whoops. If I've got a church nearby. Can we see a church nearby? Hummingbird Hollow. There's a church right here, right across the street. Right across the street, Our Savior's Lutheran Church. Also very much interested in this Hummingbird Hollow for some reason. Was that North Carolina, Hope? Oh no. Oh no, sweetie. I hope you feel better. It's going around, honey. It's going around. I hope you feel better now, or you will soon, Chris. Sorry, honey. Yeah, it's definitely going around. It's definitely going around. Yeah, so this is right across. Look at this construction and company. I don't know, man. There's something about this one that feels interesting. Something like this looks interesting. I'm just gonna look at I just want to look at. I gotta stop looking at the screen. Just want to look at this a little bit more. A little bit more. Be a foster parent. That's the thing. Okay, this is the thing that is also interesting because I don't know what that means about being a foster parent. We're about to learn, but it makes it seem like if you don't live in the state, we'll watch your kid, which is, did you know foster parents can be single or married parents or grandparents, young or old? They can have children of their own or no children at all. They can have dreams of adopting or just desire to help kids who need it. In other words, foster parents look just like you. All you need to do to become a foster parent is an extra bedroom, be committed to a child's taste, safety, and a willingness to invest in their future. Lots of support from our team professionals, including specialized training that will help you successfully care for each child, valuable online resources, and a dedicated social worker to answer your questions along the way. So there you go. So that one is interesting because they could literally be he could be in a bedroom somewhere. He could be in a bedroom somewhere. Ay, ay, ay. I don't know, man. I'm going to put a star on this one. What do y'all think about this one versus the first two? Anybody have any senses? You don't know. I know, Krista. It's just mind blowing. And it's just mind blowing. And it's like the more you dig in, it's almost like the more discouraging it gets because it's just, there's so many choices. There are so many choices. It's just, I don't know. Okay, I'm going to go to a few more here. North Homes Children and Family Services, multiple youth residential programs, QRTP, evaluation, short-term, step-down, independent living. Grand Rapids is on the Mississippi headquarters, and Beamage is on Lake Beamage. So they have more than one location. We've also got one coming up here. I'm going to get to a faith-based church connection, but we're getting there. First, let's just get through this next couple that we're going to look at, and then we're going to go to this church-based one. Y'all, I know. I can't. It's just interesting. Like, let's just do a little. I just want to do a little. I know. It could be. It could be. It could be. It comes up a lot. It comes up a lot. It sure does, Chris. I wanted to just say, like, I think a lot of us are really hopeful Sebastian is alive. I still think he is. And I want to compare that to how many of you in the chat just felt that Jaden was not around, that he was gone, he was deceased. If you thought Jaden was deceased, put yes, thought Jaden was deceased. And if you didn't, put no. I want to just do a little, I just want to gut check. There's 100 of us here. So statistically, a good number. And I want to just show why I'm still like, yes, right? So, yeah, yes, right? So far, everybody, yes, 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 yes. Okay. Now, how many of us think Sebastian's alive? Thanks, Chris. Thank you, honey. Thanks, Kitty. Hey, Lindsay. It's nice to see you after a while. I know, Sharon. I know. I know. He hasn't visited me in a while. I hope so. Anybody in here? Yes? Other than me and Hope and Chris? We're the only ones? I thought y'all were more positive than that. Lori, thank you. Thank you. Yes. Yeah. It's some things that Chris said, like something about when you'll see him when he's 18 or something. What was the statement he made about him when he was 18? Anyways, I just think this is a really distinct possibility. I don't know why I never thought about it before. I'm not willing to rule it out yet. I'm just not willing to rule it out yet. Okay, so let's look at this one. I know. Oh no, I hope your mom's okay, Lindsay. I'm sorry to hear that, honey. I hope she's better. I hope she's better soon. I hope she's better soon. Yeah, but that doesn't mean he didn't get hit in the head and survive it, right? I know, Gypsy. I know. I know. Well, this is it. But could that be like a grave site? Like that's so hard to. I know. Of course, of course. And I know Seth hasn't given up hope. So I guess, I'm not ready to give up yet. I'm not. And I've channeled him, like I said, so I just made the assumption that he was deceased. But I've also had telepathic experiences before. And so, yeah. Okay, so let's look at this one. Teens in Transition is the oldest program in North Homes. Teens in Transition is a specialized group home with a primary focus on skills needed to live independently. This program is a placement option for adolescent boys needing to develop independent living skills along with educational programming. This program fills a gap as services of adolescents will not be returning home at the end of the placement and for other reasons needing to live independently. At the completion of the program, residents will have gained the skills necessary for successful transition into independent living. I just don't know who this is for. Services. Let's just go see. That's just one service. You've got treatment centers. Seeks to provide trauma-informed care in a safe therapeutic living environment for children diagnosed with serious emotional disabilities. The program is adaptive to meet the individual needs of each youth based on their trauma and mental health screens at admission. Well, this one, I mean, if it's trauma-based and then they told them that Sebastian was assaulted, this is in Duluth. Where's the address? Duluth area. Oh no, we've got phone numbers. They've got 3 phone numbers. I just want the map. 3 offices. Here we are. I think this was outpatient behavioral health. Improve relationships, manage stress, cope with trauma, and develop effective coping strategies, assessment, counseling, substance use, safe harbor, trauma-informed services for youth up to 24 who've experienced human trafficking and exploitation. Ooh, okay, so he wasn't trafficked, but he certainly had some SA, right? Safe harbor. I just can't figure out like which address this is. Outpatient. Oh, okay. Residential services. What's this? The cottage. The North Homes Cottage provides both evaluation and short-term placement for youth 10 to 17 years of age. Program components include but are not limited to family integration and support, daily therapeutic groups, cultural education activities, on-site education, health screening and interventions, 35-day assessment, shelter stabilization. I'm just going to go to the maps now and see if anything comes up in my, not getting any energy with any of these. Is there such a thing? Yeah, Lois, I want to ask if Donna did that, and I just want to see and make sure Seth would be okay with that. But if you do it, you can do it. Just don't put it up on my channel. I don't want to be responsible for suggesting anything. I know I'm being a little paranoid, but I just have been reminded about legal liabilities. So before I would go and publicly say, hey, let's all do this as a group kind of thing and support that, I really want to get Seth's permission, but I can't imagine he would be too concerned about it. But you know, but yeah, I definitely, I'll ask Jen if she can ask Seth if he would object to us just sending a bunch of flyers out to all these homes. I cannot, I don't know who said it earlier, but I really have a hard time believing that a big institution like this would willingly hide a child. So this is why I am more of the mindset that maybe a family, foster family, but then how would that work? Like, I don't know. I don't know. Okay, so I'm just going to pull this one up on the map. No, I know, honey. No, I know. But I'm just saying, like, if you want to do it, do it. But I'm not claiming to organize it at this point. But I wouldn't mind actually having an organized plan. Like I mentioned the other day, where we send flyers to a bunch of YouTube. Like, I wouldn't actually mind having a live where we literally go through and like plan, and we have designated groups or states or whatever, and people volunteer. Like, I want to organize something like that, but I want to get Seth's permission before we do that. But you can do it. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, it was hit on the head. No, I know. That policeman works for another county. I don't know. Did you not like him? Bubbly Beth, did you not like him? Like, you didn't have a good feeling about him? I have no idea, Lori. I have no idea. They do, Chris. I think they do. I think KP does, but Jen knows more about that than I do, but I think KP does have family in there in Alaska. But let me see if I can see if there's a church here. Lily Lake. Mississippi River. Millie Lake. Millie, I don't see so far I don't see a church. I know. But I don't see a church here on this one. Oh, this is so tedious. I need to upgrade my StreamYard. And trying to get the next location here. This is another location. No church here either. No church either. Okay, I'm going to go down to the next last location, I think. Oh, there's an outpatient office. No way. There's an outpatient office. Y'all, the same organization as an outpatient program. Outpatient. Oh no, Gypsy Rose. Okay, honey. No worries. I know this is a little tedious, but man, this is an outpatient program that looks like a private residence. Hang on. I hope everybody feels better. Gypsy Rose, I hope you feel better. Hey, there's stuff going around. There's stuff going around. So what is this? Is this a building under construction? What the heck? Outpatient location, 413. Yeah, I've got it right. I just don't know where it's showing me. These are condos. Like this is an outpatient program that's like, showing me a house location, condo location. So that's interesting. I'm gonna take a picture for that. Okay, we're gonna go through a few more and then call it a day. I'm gonna go to this one here. Residential treatment on ground, school. I got 2 more, and then I'm going to the church one. This one, and then 1 more, and I'm going, and then it's the church location. Gypsy, praying it better. I know. Oh no. Oh no way, sweetie. I didn't know. Hey, Forever Glow, nice to see you. It's been a while, honey. Oh, I know. There's a lot of people not feeling well. I don't know if it's the weather, blue stuff going on. Hang on, that one's not coming up for me. What is going on now? Nexus Gerard family. Let me, the link didn't, whoops, the link isn't working. Here it is. We looked at this one, did we not? Oh, honey. Nexus. Pride ourselves in serving families in the community. Outpatient. Outpatient. Our team of licensed therapists at Nexus Family, Adolescents, and Children Therapy Services is specifically trained in trauma and stress, committing to helping children grow and help. Yeah, I've looked at this one. This is the one I highlighted before. Therapy for the whole family, individual therapy for the individual, family response. Okay, I've looked at this one, so this one I'm interested in as well, but there's 2 locations. So now I'm going to go 1 more. This one's got behavioral needs, the Hoffman Center, and then I'm going to the church one. Y'all, I know. Health is really so important, trying to get mine back up again. So this is Leo Hoffman Center. Services offered and locations. The Leo A. Hoffman Center is a private nonprofit corporation committed to assessing and providing high-quality, outcome-based mental health services for children, adolescents, and young adults. These services emphasize respect for each client's development needs and strengths and are designed to enhance personal growth, health, relationships, family stability, community reintegration. LAHC has a long history of successfully treating adolescents with sexual behavior problems, many of whom have comorbid cognitive behavior and emotional psychiatric needs. In 2019, LAHC was recognized for 40 years of serving youth and recognized for its good standing and relationships with the Department of Human Services, Department of Corrections, government has come up, and the Council of Accreditation. Wow. Look at the residents they have. They've got 5. 5. Okay, so now we've got I'm gonna get locations. No. Here we are, locations. Hoffman Learning Center. Seems too institutional. Human service departments right there. Christ's Chapel. Or let's just go here. I can go right to the map from their own website. So I'm just going to stop sharing. I can go right to the map from their own website. They teach them how to cook, clean, count money, shop for groceries, manage and work if they can. They have, yes, some of them, yeah. So it depends on which one, but yeah, some of them are definitely teaching life skills. My girlfriend's daughter had the chromosome deletion, and she was put Mystic Massage put in a lot of programs to help her learn to live independently. She had some challenges intellectually, other things. I don't know. I'm not getting any vibe off this one. I don't see a church. Let's go to this one. Why is it not showing? Hey, Joni, how are you? Been a while since I've seen you. Yeah, I'm just not picking anything up off this one. Let's go to the church. Let's go to the church. It's called Hope Harbor, Winona and Marshall, Minnesota. Christian Therapeutic Residential Program for Teens. Winona campus is on the Mississippi River. Let's just see. Hope Harbor. Oh my God. Oh my God. Do y'all remember an anchor and me talking about an anchor early on in this case? Do y'all remember an anchor? It's really standing out for me. Biblically based, 2 locations. Teen Help. Hope Harbor is privately funded, nonprofit, funded in Marshall, Minnesota, with location for teen girls in Marshall, Minnesota, and a location for boys in Parker, SD. SD, is that's, I don't know where that is, if that's totally different state. Parker, yeah, South Dakota. Okay, we're gonna go there just because of, I'm just really struck. Yeah, you remember. Yeah, everybody says they remember. I know. Wait a second. It doesn't give, it's a P.O. box. I don't like that. Why have I got a P.O. box? There's no address. Oh, I don't like that. They must be all in private homes. Okay, let's look at Parker. I don't like that. Thank you, Joni. Thank you, honey. Nice to see you. Thanks, Red. Nice to see you. Yeah, I know. I know. I don't know. This one's very interesting for me, even though it's South Dakota. Services. Does my teen need help? Hope Parker program is a voluntary placement option for teens 12 to 17, and their families can heal from past hurts and destructive choices. Detailed program information. Detailed program information. I don't know. This one's ministry setting. Education. Education is one of the core components of our program. Residents attend Hope Harbor's on-site private school, accredited through a third party, where requested by the originating district. We work extensively with the district each student originates from to ensure students are on track and credits are transferable upon program completion. So this wouldn't necessarily be life skills, discipleship. I don't like this. Discipleship is one of our core components of our program. Hope Harbor is an interdenominational Christian program, Christ-centered and biblically based. We believe in salvation through Jesus Christ and refer to the Bible for direction, clarity in all matters as outlined in statements of faith. We desire to help those who serve to walk out of a relationship that they choose with the Lord Jesus Christ. Each of our staff has made personal choice of commitment to Christ and walks in faith. Okay, I don't know, y'all. Service area. We recommend families to reside within reasonable driving distance of the location where they are placing their teen. We have worked with families as far as 6-7 hours drive away, provided the family is committed to the weekly travel. Tuition assistance. Privately funded nonprofit organization offering family-style services, teens in home setting. To teens in a home setting. We do not bill insurance for our services and are not a government-funded organization. We are a private pay program. Well, and we reduce our tuition to $4,000 per family. We're committed to serving families regardless of their financial situation. We've been asked, isn't there a cheaper or lower cost option? Truth be told, most programs that offer our services do so at rates of 3 to 4 times our tuition, even with insurance billed. If your provider is one that covers those services, we strive to keep program costs low, round the clock care, and services bring the cost to provide services to each teen per month at $6,000. We understand this seems insurmountable for most families, and we reduce our tuition to $4,000 per family. So $4,000, is that what that means? Hey, Donna, you're here, honey. How are you? Oh, sorry, Joe Marie. I just, your screen name says Joni. Oh, Joe Marie, there you are. Now I get it. Bubbly that the church coming from Chris could mean the church they go to. Maybe they took him to a church and they took him somewhere. It could be, honey. Again, we're just, anything is possible. I'm just trying to see if I get an intuitive hit. And I've said this so many times, you know, my readings are one thing, but my visions I believe in way more. And why was I being told Minnesota, Minneapolis last night? I just, that's why I was like, I gotta explore this. Hi, sweetie. I hope you're doing well today. Church helps send him because he needed such deep help through the therapy. It was a 9-month program, but they could extend it. Church help, so maybe this church help send him too. It could be, you know, it could be. Y'all, I'm not even halfway through the list. This is the last half of the list. I got one more we'll go to for today, and then I'll pick up some stuff privately and try to do some of this privately, God willingly. I find time, God willing, because man, and it won't be today. I gotta get sleep. I haven't slept in a week. Like I just 3 more to 100. Oh man, I mean, we got to do this though, because like until we find them, how do we know, right? How do we know? How do we know? Okay, so this one, I'm gonna ask my coworker which state and place they sent him. It was like definitely like Arizona or someplace off like that. Yeah, like this is also what's amazing about this is when you look into residential schools, I cannot believe how many of them exist. It's astounding. It's just astounding. Okay, so let's see what these guys are about. You know what I haven't done? Oh, here we are. I was going to say, I haven't specifically looked for autistic, and yet, in today's chat, here's this one about MICC. Our vision is a world where autistic and neurodivergent adults thrive and are accepted and valued. Since 1996, MICC has provided transformative education and training for autistic and neurodivergent adults to live independently, work purposefully, and thrive in community. From our home in Richfield, Minnesota, MICC has cultivated a broad network of public and private partnerships to ensure accessibility to our programs and opportunities for MICC participants across Minnesota and nationwide. Within our innovative framework of hands-on skills-based learning and caring guidance, MICC participants accomplish things they never imagined, from performing daily living tasks and building self-sufficiency to developing and sustaining a career, support system, and lifelong relationships within the safety and freedom of our inclusive community. MICC participants begin to see themselves in a new light, gaining the confidence they need to build the lives that they want. Let's just look at the programs. Programs are holistic, personalized pathways to healthy independence, meaningful employment, and social engagement. Coursework goes beyond the classroom with integrated learning experience on campus, in the workplace, and within the community, while we're always enhancing and advancing our curriculum based on the latest research and best practices. The proven success of our pioneering skills-based approach remains the time-tested foundation for all of our programming. For those with autism, ADHD, ADD, and other neurodevelopmental or learning disabilities, we have programs for 15 years old and older, must have high school degree or equivalency except for summer program. Well, for the college program, wow. So maybe this is not going to be Sebastian because he did not complete high school. Let's go see where their locations are. Oh, thank you, everybody. Yes, thank you. Are we at 100 today, Kitty? You're always looking that up for me. Thank you, sweetie. Thank you. I know, sweetie. I know. Thank you. I don't know. Like, I'm just at a loss, when his insurance, I don't know. Well, some of them we just read, Kitty. Like the one I just literally just read to you before this. said they don't take insurance payments, right? So it's private. So this is the problem with some of these places. Some of these places are big institutions, but then they have foster care programs where all the parents need to do, like we read earlier at the beginning of the stream, is have a bedroom and a bed. And so how do you track that, right? Like, I don't know, honey. I don't know. So I think it would depend, Kitty. I think that's why I'm trying to narrow it down. Like, if it's a private institution and it's a private foster parent, I don't know how that works. Well, I know, I get it. I know. I don't know, honey. I mean, it's a great question. I just can't answer it for you. I just can't answer it for you. Okay, so this one, visit us. This is, let's look at their location. Like, look at this. These are individual homes. Like, this is what I'm saying. Like, they'd have to go through the organization, though. I don't know. I don't know, man. But look at this. All I'm saying is, it didn't dawn on me at the beginning. I really did not think about residential homes. It wasn't on my radar. For whatever reason, I wasn't getting it. Like, it wasn't of interest. It absolutely could. It absolutely could. And it wasn't on my radar. And then I started to think, about it, and had a conversation with somebody about how this was the very beginning of, discussions that they were having with Seth about Sebastian long before he disappeared, months before he disappeared. And it's like, did they go and do this thinking that they weren't on social media, that this would not garner attention, knowing the logo LE would cover and protect them, and lied to Seth, and now they got to cover their tracks in something that they could get? Like, I don't know. But all I know is I'm not ready to give up on looking for them, and anything is possible at this point until we've ruled it out. But look at this. This is this place. Like, these are residential buildings. Look. These are like separate homes. Like, look. This is what I'm saying. Like, if you are a foster parent in one of these homes, maybe they wouldn't even know that he's missing. I don't know. There's Leanne, there's a place in Oregon right by that pond called SLLEA Foundation. It's assisted living for special needs. Do you want me to look it up? Well, we can't give up until we find them, like, man. Okay, is it SLLEA? And that's, I guess, my point is, now that I started looking into these residential homes, I find them way more common than I ever would have suspected. And the fact that some of them are in a private residence like this also makes it maybe more likely than I had originally thought, because that was my very first thought, was like, how could an institution hide him? But if he's in a private residence, like, anything could happen. Okay, so I'm gonna go, Joni, SLLEA Foundation in Oregon. SLLEA Foundation in Oregon. Okay. And I think, some spots that look a little more suspicious than others, or a little more likely than others. Ooh, I just got goosebumps when I pulled this up. Yeah, I've got it here. SL. I think this is it. I know, honey. I know. By the pond. Yeah. Okay. So let's go look. And then maybe between the charts and stuff, we can, rule it out or zone in, with Jen. That's all. Okay. Into autism specific supports and education and technology equipped smart homes with focus on developing skills, capability, and allowing for more positive achievement in multiple domains of life functioning. I don't know if he would. Yeah, okay, hang on. SLE SLLEA serves as neurodiverse adults, working with them to achieve and maintain meaningful independence and self-sufficiency in their lives. Our comprehensive strength-based program encompasses autism-specific direct support and neuro-affirming social skill curriculum, emphasizing empowerment and self-advocacy. SLEA's curriculum and supports are coupled with self-management technology and are carefully designed to foster sustained personal growth and self-confidence across three pivotal adult transition areas: independent living, higher education, career exploration, and meaning employment. I don't know if this one is, let me pull on the map. Just pulling up the map. Just think about this as Chris, if they truly did this on the sly and kept this baby from his dad, but well, exactly. But again, we're all just like, they teach them to be independent. I mean, we really don't know. That's why we're exploring it. Yeah. Part two, when transferred, you ask, I was wondering if there's an outstanding bill on my son. Give him his name. SSI might ask if there's there. Say yes if there. I don't know. I think I missed the first part, honey. Let me go up to the first part because I'm not following. I don't. Okay. That could be a sign we need to look into this. They won't tell you he's there. Someone needs to call and ask if they can talk to billing. If you need his SI number, they'll ask for it. Yeah, well, this is why I think we would need to get Seth's permission and get like an organized, if we want to really go after residential homes, we come up with a long list of them state by state and ask Seth and come up with a video like that Seth does or something like a 30-second video, and I'll be consistent, create and craft an email and it's just plug and play. But I would want to get his permission to organize something like that. I don't even know if you would want it. Like wondering if there's no same bill on my son. Yeah, you could get, I don't know. Could you get in trouble for that? I don't know. That could be iffy given. Yes, I know. And I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Let me pull this map up. So here it is here. Is this the one you're talking about, the ponds? Is this the pond here? Harlow Lake or ponds? See, they have a P.O. box. So I don't get their exact location. This is another one. It's a P.O. box. We don't get their exact location. Let me see. I don't like that. I can't, they've got a P.O. box. I can't plug in a building. I can't see. Let's just see. No, see? They only show a P.O. box, so we can't even see. Seth could call. Yeah. Yeah, I know. I don't know, Chris. I don't really know. Sometimes it gets frustrating for me. Like, it's like I really believe in my visions. I do. The card readings, again, I say here versus my visions. It's like, why did I hear that? Unless it was for Jack and Lily, which I really doubt. Why? Like, why wake me up? Give me the download if it's not for something important that I can't do anything with. Ugh. Okay, let me look, Joni. Let me keep looking, honey. Okay. Mm, tier homes. Stella tier homes. Individuals with higher assessed independent living skill may qualify for placement into one of Stella's tier homes like TAP. Tier students typically share a rental home with one or two other housemates. I doubt that would be Sebastian. I doubt that would be Sebastian at his age. I don't think he'd be old enough. And I'm just looking still for an address other than the box, P.O. box. Donate, log. I don't see an address still. I just see a P.O. box. Contact. It's just a contact form. They all have the same bottom. I mean, this is like a Wix website. Yeah, I don't see an address, honey, on their website. Social Security income, federal supplemental program funded by government, general tax information centers for disease control. These are just related resources, not related to them. So now that I realize that, I'm going to stop reading. Y'all, I don't really know. I honestly, I know, Donna, I know. Here, I know. I don't know how Seth deals with it. I honestly, I don't know how he does it. Oh, thank you, sweetie. I just don't. Sometimes it's frustrating for me. Like I don't understand. Like, and this is why when I had my little hissy fit and I left for a couple weeks, I was like yelling at my guides, like, don't. If you're gonna give me the visions, and I can't effing do anything with them, don't fucking give them to me. Do you know what I mean? Like, not to be. It's infuriating to get them and not use them in a way that's helpful. Like, it's like, what's the point? So it's like frustrating. Trust me, I get frustrated too. I can't, Donna. I don't know how he does it. So I think publicly they would know. You would think so, Kim. You would think so, sweetie. I know. I don't know. Yeah, Joni. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Well, this is it. That's the problem. Like, there's still so many people that don't know about Sebastian. I mean, a lot of people I talk to that never heard of, like, I mean, well, in Canada especially, but like, we will find it for next time. Yes, thank you. Um, is that the second half to This Is Insane or what, sweetie? I don't know, honey. It's not been spread across states. I'm in North Carolina. I've never seen it on the news. Seriously, Gypsy Rose? See, that's the problem. This is why we can't give up, you know? I watch McCann. Oh, thank you. Oh no, a wonderful day. I'm sorry to hear that. I'm sorry to hear that. That's a hard journey. You know what? Take lots of vitamins. My mom had a 5% chance of survival when she had cancer when I was young in university. And they ended up doing a study on her years later because they couldn't figure out, one, she had a 5% chance of survival, and she survived, and she only had a 5% chance of survival, and two, how well she fared on chemo. And she took vitamins up the wazoo and ate super healthy. And she also followed mindset books by Dr. Siegel on reprogramming your brain. Just if you want to email me, if you're interested in any of that, let me know, sweetie. But prayers for your healing, for a speedy recovery. Prayers for a speedy recovery. I think I'm going to need to do meditation soon because, y'all, I'm just like, I'm feeling the energy right now, and I just need to, like a group meditation. I got to find some music. Yeah. Yeah, we could, maybe, bubbly bath. That's a great idea, you know? That's a great idea. Yeah, that's a great idea. I can figure for trash could have been her. Um, I wonder if the billboards are still up. Yeah, I wonder. I wonder. They could have changed his name. Looks. Yeah, I mean, let's hope they didn't go to that extent. Did it, Kim? I don't remember. North came up a couple times. Maybe it was the direction by this facility. I've done so many readings and it's been so long. I don't remember, but I trust if you remember it. That's true. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it could be. On the page it says use the direction to get address. Use the direction to get address. Okay, let me go there. Where do you see that? Use the direction to get address. Am I just like completely missing it? I don't see where it says use the direction to get address, honey. Oh, how did you find it and I couldn't? Thank you. God. How is this possible? 199 Alder Street. 1999 Alder Street. Well, that's even worse if this is it, because it's address in Oregon. Yeah, well, I've got Alder Street in Eugene, Oregon, right here. I mean, this could be one of the foundation owners or something's residence. 'Cause that's a private residence. 1990 Alder Street. This is 189. So I don't know if there's not a 199, but well, that's interesting. I've typed in 199. Alder Street, Eugene, but there's no house that comes up there. It says building. Hang on. Well, this is curious. It's see how I type in 1990 Alder Street, but it comes up 1989. Like it's not, almost like it's not. Y'all see that? Like it's almost like it's a different address. Hey, Cam. Yeah, absolutely, sweetie. You think so, Donna? As long as you girls aren't, ladies and gents aren't bored. Yeah. I don't know, man. See, so this is the challenge. This one's, Joni, interesting because you're getting, when you find it on their site, you get this address, but I look how it's coming up when I type in, look at the chat, look at, I've typed in 199, you can see that, but yet Google's going to 1998. So it's almost like their address is not accurate. It's interesting. That's what I'm wondering, but also how the address isn't coming up consistently. It's even more suspicious. That's exactly what I was wondering, a founder's house, but why is Google telling me this is 1998, almost as if there is no 1990, which is even more suspicious because look, I've typed in, you can see right here, I've typed in 1990, but Google is saying when I click on it, 1989. Hey, Kika, honey. We're almost done. I hate to say it. My heart wants to believe he's alive. My mind isn't sure. I don't think so. I know, honey. I get it. I totally get it. But I'm still holding out hope. I'm still holding out hope. But okay, y'all. I think the next time Jen's away today, it is really odd. This has got me curious, Joni, because you've sent me the address and you see what Google's saying. Almost like there isn't a 1990 Alder Street, which is even more suspicious. And don't forget, their site has a P.O. box. Like, you had to dig for that address. I don't know. I don't know. But anyways, y'all, Blue Rose Ramblings, rotate it and see across the street. I know, I was just, let's see. Can't even see through the trees. There's a hidden home for you. So, like, either way, we're looking at a private residence. Either way. This has been so interesting. Thank you. Yeah, I'm sorry for everybody just coming in. It's been 2.5 hours. So go back and rewind. I'm not sure if I'm going to be on tomorrow or not for a live. I will do some readings. I'm taking a day to go visit. I haven't seen Rory in like a week and a half, which maybe even 2 weeks. Yeah. So so I don't know if I'll be live tomorrow. I'm not sure. So look out. If I do, it'll be 7, not early like this. But I need sleep. And I will do some readings for sure before I head out of town, like not out of town, but to go to my daughter's. We need to be organized and start. This is what I was thinking. Like, thank you, Donna, honey. Write a list of all the states, United States. I know, exactly. I know. You're welcome, Corinne Danielle. Thank you. I know, exactly. So yes, so tomorrow, if I go live, it'll be 7. And I'm going to do readings in the morning. So just keep out and look out for the readings. And if I go live, it'll be 7. I'm going to try to go live. So it depends. I do need some downtime, I have to say. And I need sleep, which is why I went earlier today because I haven't been able to sleep. So anyways, thank you for everybody. You're welcome, Gypsy Rose. I hope everybody's feeling better. Everybody stays safe. They had some flooding in Tennessee rather today. Everybody stay safe, and we'll see y'all soon. Thank you for being here, everybody. Love and light. We'll see you soon.